Welcome to M&S, everybody. I'm Will. No. Stop that.
We won.
Who's we? You French? Who's we? You didn't win. Chase Elliott won.
What did you just say to me?
We didn't win anything. Chase Elliott won.
You Titanic-sized flea bag.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.
Charlie Sheen, he's a winner. Unlike you, John Travolta, winner. Phil Lewis, winner. Chase Elliott, winner. Now let's get into the show so you can know something about winners. I'm Matt. Welcome to The Shifter. Let's get into it.
So first off, I don't know if it was intentional on this guy's part, but there was a lot of discourse on Twitter over like, oh, if you're a fan of a sports team, should you say we? Yes. Yes, you should. If you're an actual dedicated fan to your team.
Yeah.
But that being said, this past weekend at Texas, we got, fortunately or unfortunately, a complete weekend full of fine racing.
Yeah. I think we need to start in the lower series because there was a crazy Xfinity race.
Yeah, but before we get to the Xfinity race, we'll lightly touch on the truck race, which seemed to be pretty good, but also you do have a building theory that maybe a certain KFB might have been indirectly helping with this, or directly helping with this.
From what I saw throughout the race was Corey Heim had about fourth place speed, and Kyle Busch was in a different area code from everybody except maybe Christian Eckes. But towards the end of the race, Corey Heim just started magically gaining ground on Kyle Busch, and I think maybe Kyle Busch may have been trying not to stink up the show and make it close, because I think he knew with the dirty air that Corey Heim probably would not be able to pass him. Now, I don't know that's true. Maybe Corey Heim just found something on the outside that I did not know was there, because the outside did work in the other races, so that is possible. But let's get into the Xfinity race, because that's where the good stuff is.
So the Xfinity race, first off, I think starts the greater discourse about the best car that the National Touring Series field is the Xfinity car. It's
not close.
It provides the best racing on a week-in, week-out basis, and honestly, from what the drivers say, it seems like the most fun to drive because it's actually difficult to drive. Isn't one of the main differences the body? The body is actually metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have the composite body too. Now they changed that because they were the first cars with the composite body. But getting into this race, it is definitely the best car. They proved it again and again. Matt DiBenedetto got a top 20. Congratulations. But towards the end of this race, Ryan Sieg, a true NASCAR underdog, a guy that's been around since 2009, 2010, he came through the field and was able to take the lead of the race, shockingly. Only ever won second-place finish back in 2018 at Iowa, which was a strategy call to get him there behind William Byron. William Byron was just so fast that day that strategy did not matter to him. But Ryan Sieg has the lead of this race, but then here comes Sam Mayer, who has endured a rough season. And then coming to the final lap, the unthinkable happened, a photo finish at Texas.
It really did turn out to be one of them classic Texas finishes, which, contrary to popular belief, actually for sure was a thing. There have been many great finishes at this track, just not this iteration. And I didn't necessarily think it was possible given the one-groove nature of this track, even typically with the Xfinity Series, but Sam Mayer pulled alongside of Ryan Sieg and just barely stole this thing away from him. So, first off, obviously, this just sucks for Ryan Sieg. Well, it sucks, but it doesn't. A second-place finish for him is huge, but would have been awesome to see him get his first win. But it's been an interesting journey for Sam Mayer. I know his first year he was a bit of a wrecking ball, and he's got a little bit of a bad reputation. I know a lot of people were outright upset that he won, but Sam Mayer's only 20 years old, right? He's got plenty of room to grow, and it's good to see him get back in victory lane because Sam Mayer could be one of the future big names in this sport.
And I want to go back to Ryan Sieg for a second because so many times you see like these little small teams fail, and somehow RSS Racing, through the death of Shane Sieg, through all the stuff that they've gone through over the years, even like not having a good truck program from 2010 to 2015, they have somehow survived and made Ryan Sieg's made the playoffs once or twice on points. Now came close to winning twice. Led late in super speedway races, but I'm not really going to count those for the purpose of this. And now they have a pretty big name driver with Matt DiBenedetto over there that I think is rising that 38 team, and it will get better. But just the fact that Ryan Sieg has stuck around this long with how hard it is to make it in this sport without a lot of money, and his dad, because I know he helps big time with that. It's a true family operation. You don't see that a lot. I would have loved for Ryan Sieg to win. You don't know how many more shots he's going to get, but...
Yeah, and I mean, you lightly touched on it earlier, but Ryan Sieg in that car driving through the field to get the lead. It
Yeah.
was not a strategy
And there
play
was no
this time
tire
around.
advantage like it was with Brad in the Cup race, like we'll get
No.
to. But
But Ryan Sieg, really an incredible drive from him, but Sam Mayer would walk away victorious. Now, let's get into the Cup Series.
I'm riled up, man.
I know you're riled up, but we got a ways to go before we get to, the main thing that you'd probably want to talk about.
You get your own bit today, too.
Sure. But we'll go ahead and attack the elephant in the room. Texas has probably extended its shelf life another 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. So basically, watching stage 1 of this race, you did not think this was going to be a good race. Kyle Larson ran off and hid like he tends to do at the start of a lot of these races, but it was more so. You're good with grammar. What extended? I don't know. You're correcting my.
What are you looking to try and say?
I don't know, but Kyle Larson had a huge lead in this race. I'm a little slow sometimes, but he would win stage 1. No competition. There wasn't the competition from Bubba Wallace like there was the last couple weeks, but then his wheel would fall off.
So it's funny that we mentioned Bubba Wallace when we talk about a wheel having issue.
Yeah, that's every week for the 2311 team. That's why you're not a winner. Either car. My team, 3 of the 4 cars already have a win. Your team, 0 of the 2. You only got to get 2. Let's get 4.
My team was created 2 years ago.
Piss posh. All right.
Pish posh, Matt. Piss posh. I'm gonna get the British people on you. Well, at least do your British accent, Matt.
The people don't need to hear that.
Do your British accent.
Well, at least.
Who does he think he is?
Everybody knows I have a bad British accent. That's not a. They know I can't dance, so they know I don't have a bad. They know I have a bad British accent. You're just getting low hanging fruit with all these jokes. Even though I broke the first one, which I'm sure everybody could tell because it wasn't as funny as I thought it was in my head. Like most of my jokes tend to be. Now get into the second stage of the race. Tell them about it. Tell them about the second stage of the race. So stage 2 starts off with Kyle Larson's
Do it
wheel
again. Start with stage 2 again.
No, I'm keeping going. All right. This is funny. This is comedy. This is a podcast. We're supposed to be talking. We don't do that a lot. It's all just like, so, come on. Tell them about stage 2. All right. So, stage 2.
I took an extended absence during stage 2.
Okay, we get it. It's not all about you. Let's get into the race. Tell them
I'm
about.
sweating fucking bullets. This window here, and you're melting the pressure on me. I don't know what I did to deserve this.
All right. Let's get in stage 2.
Yep, let's do it.
Denny Hamlin.
I thought you were gonna do it again. I know about stage 2.
Well, Denny Hamlin led in this stage 2, so you should know about it. You should know a whole lot about Denny Hamlin.
I got distracted during stage 2.
Okay. We don't need it. None of that. Fixing showers and such. All right. So, Denny Hamlin took the lead in this race.
shower.
There was a untimely caution, which allowed guys such as Chase Elliott to get involved in this thing because it really didn't benefit anybody else because anybody else that got benefited by this caution just went straight back to the back. But stage 2, Bubba Wallace made a late charge up to second. Almost caught Ross Chastain. I lied. Ross Chastain was also benefited by this caution. But he won stage 2. Your guy, Bubba Wallace, got second. And now let's get into stage 3. Did you watch that or were you...
I don't really want to talk about stage 3.
No, we're gonna
I actually did see it, but I don't want to talk about what
All right, so the
happened.
start of stage 3 starts with Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace on the front row. They drive it down in there like everybody's been all day. Like he was driving his hand down in the drain of that shower.
I'm very upset at the 41 car. Not the 41 car, the 14 car. I don't know why I said the 41 car.
You just messed it all up. You just messing it all up. But Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace wreck both make a great save, keeping it off the wall. And from this point, the race would take shape with the three players.
Chase Briscoe fucking ruined my life, and then the race took awesome shape.
Chase Briscoe.
Sorry, Emily. Actually, genuinely.
She was actually like, so when I went to go visit this weekend, short side story, she was like mad that you've been cussing on the show and she can't watch it. Like she was legitimately mad because like she can't watch it. You're not allowing my little sister to watch this show because of your cuss. I've not cussed in the last 2 episodes.
No. You shut the fuck up. You started this. Okay, guys, the routine viewers, the people that watch the like
15 of you. Hey, that's a
But, are
callback.
they
I almost
really
fell out of my seat. You got me on the edge of my seat.
Matt started cussing on the show. He's the one that started it all.
But who's the
I
one?
didn't do this. No.
said it
No. You're the one who decided this wasn't a family-friendly show. I don't want to hear about it.
Okay, and you're the one who was fixing the shower during stage 2. Now let's get into stage 3, which hopefully you watched.
A portion.
Okay, that's better than last time. All right, so Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott became the main players in this race.
They be what?
The people want to hear about Tyler Reddick losing this race that was gifted to him on a silver platter at a track where you can't pass because 2311's pit crew is a bunch of idiot faces. I'm not going to say the F face because then I'll get in trouble and yelled at by my little sister, and I'm not going to do that, all right? So tell them about stage 3. You watched the part of it. They want to hear you talk. I've been jabbering this entire time. All right, so Tyler Reddick is leading this race coming into the pits.
Is he? Oh, he was?
Yes, he was driving the 45 Toyota actually this week.
This week? I don't remember him being in that car.
Okay, but you know what you do remember?
You want to check your facts? I don't think Tyler Reddick drives that car.
Who drove the 16 Colleague Racing Chevrolet this week? You know this because we just talked about it.
I know exactly who. I don't really want to. We don't have to.
Okay, so, all right, guys. Tyler Reddick comes down pit road. What happens when a 2311 car is in the lead late in the race and they have to make a pit stop? You tell
Things
them.
go wrong.
No. Tell them. Tell them what happens. Tell them.
What the fuck do you mean by that? I said things go wrong.
No. You're a Bubba Wallace fan. You should be very passionate right now about this 2311 pit crew problem. Because I get to get passionate at the end of stage 3 and have all the fun. I want you to be mad.
I tried to watch the end of the race too, but they were watching the Masters. I had the race on my phone, but I didn't want to be
maybe
rude.
if we start a podcast called The Putt, maybe that'll help.
The putt?
I couldn't think of anything else. The drive. All right. Oh, that was so much better. So, after that, Denny Hamlin gets the lead back. But then Tyler Reddick, somehow at Texas, the leader has not been passed all day pretty much. But Tyler Reddick flies around him to take the lead back. But
No
then
way.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spins out.
As he always does.
And
It's been he doesn't really do it all that often. He kind of does, actually.
Ricky Spinhouse. All right. That was a good one. I'll get the white text for that one because I just used an overused joke.
Yeah, it's staying in the video for sure.
All right. So then the restart that changed the entire complexion of this race.
Yes, that one.
By the way,
You and I both know what you're talking about.
the restart they can play.
Hey guys, I don't know if it's peered through yet. I actually didn't watch the race.
So my idea for the title of this video was Texas is back, folks, with a question mark. But maybe it should just be called Will Didn't Watch the Race.
And we can't title the video Texas is back, folks, because I have a video on the channel
Yeah,
called
but-
Texas is still back, guys.
That would get more views than this is going to get, actually, because it has 58 and this struggles to get to 30 sometimes. It's at 30 today, the last episode is. I am breaking the fifth wall here, sort of, kind
the
of.
fifth wall?
The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. All right, so Chase Elliott will make a daring three-wide pass on the inside of Tyler Reddick to take.
I did actually know this.
Tell him.
Chase Elliott would make an aggressive move on the inside to take the lead, and he would not give it up.
Except he would give it up.
He what? Are you kidding? Are you serious? No.
Denny Hamlin would pass Chase
I was
Elliott.
gonna say, I thought Denny Hamlin wiped himself out.
That's later.
Is that really?
Yeah.
The restart was like at the end of the race.
All right, so Chase Elliott would be passed by Denny Hamlin, similar fashion to Martinsville. But Tyler Reddick would then hit the wall because Tyler, that wall is bad news, and he just can't keep his self out of it. Brad Keselowski is making a late charge through the field because he pitted under that restart. You know,
Holy shit, it's hot.
This isn't the last restart of the race. All right, so Brad Keselowski's in third, making a charge. Chase Elliott's in second, actually gaining back on Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
It seems that we're going to have an incredible three-car battle for the win until
I
John
felt
Hunter,
that way too.
John Hunter
Until John Hunter Nemechek
wrecked
wrecked
his Romco
his
Toyota.
Romco Toyota.
All right, so Then there would be a restart.
There would be a restart.
Just the leader had not been passed on a restart the entire day. But on this restart, Chase Elliott would get a great push from Ross Chastain coming off the top.
Oh.
He'd be coming off the
Top.
There you go. Here, put your mic back. This is weird. You're not yourself when you don't have your mic. But, all right. So, but Kyle Larson would crash as this pass was happening. His bad fortune, his bad day.
He would crash as the wood. Dude, you're stumbling over your words. You sound like an idiot.
Do you want to give the end of stage 3? Because you
No.
all right.
The end of stage 3? You mean the end of the race? Do you not even watch the product, brother?
No, I was fixing my shower. All right, so Chase Elliott would be, they would go back to the scoring loops. You know how Matt loves the scoring loops. Tell him how much Matt loves the scoring loops.
The joke here is Matt doesn't like scoring loops. They resulted in the worst moment of his life. And trust me, he's had plenty of bad moments.
Yeah, shout out to all you that have contributed to that. I'm just kidding. Cut that, please.
Name drop him. Oh, you want to get chaotic? And let's get controversial.
Okay, JoJo Siwa. All right, so.
Karma's a bitch.
Chase Elliott.
And karma is exactly what I'm facing for not watching the race this past Sunday.
Chase Elliott would take the lead in this race. There would be another restart. Then this is when Denny Hamlin gets to the outside of Chase Elliott and crashes him.
Yeah. No, Denny Hamlin gets to the outside of Chase Elliott, who's driving the Hooters car, by the way. And Denny Hamlin, I believe, spun himself out.
Yes, that is what happened.
I heard about it on Action Detrimental.
Chase Elliott. Then
Not on Sunday.
Then
I wasn't watching the race.
and then there would be another rest where Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain.
Wait, I actually have a confession. I turned the race on like at the beginning of stage 3. But like once it seemed to me that Bubba was trapped like outside the top 20, I turned the race back off.
Okay,
I was upset.
so now that he cannot contribute,
I was upset.
so now that he cannot contribute to one of my happiest moments of my 2024, Ross Chastain.
Rough 24 for you then.
I've actually had a pretty good year.
Actually, this probably I'd be pretty happy.
I've had some fun this year. It's been a good year. All right, so
That's awesome. It's a drastic turnaround from 23, 22, 21, and 20.
19 was great. All right, so Chase Elliott would take the lead on this
Driving
restart.
the number 9. Typically, the
Okay, I got to finish this race recap. Chase Elliott would take the lead with Ross Chastain on his outside. Ross Chastain would almost pass him. There would be another caution for another crash. I actually don't remember who it was, so go ahead and berate me for that.
you don't. Do you not even watch?
It was Harrison Burton and Kaz Grala. I just remembered. All right, Harrison Burton did lead laps in this race. Okay, so then Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, they would again start on the front row. This time Chase Elliott would run off and hide. William Byron and Ross Chastain would get into it on the backstretch, ending the race. And finally, number 9 fans, we're back in victory lane. Chase Elliott is finally back in victory lane. And now we're done with the race, and we can talk about the stories after. So this man can get his mic back because he can actually contribute to this part. So what is your thoughts on the William Byron and Ross Chastain incident?
Well, actually, first and foremost, I want to wish you a very... Tyler Reddick finished 4th and Bubba Wallace finished 7th.
And-
but also...
And Austin Dillon finished 8th, and Kyle Busch finished 9th, and Carson Hocevar finished 10th, and a partridge in a fucking pear tree. There you go, I cussed.
All right, but let's actually talk about the incident on the last lap, which, no, I didn't watch live, Matt.
Yeah, I think they've got that by this point.
I don't know. There's been a lot of discourse because a lot of people have been chiming in saying, like, yeah, if you're William Byron, you know, you get not lifting.
Keep going. This
William
is
Byron's the driver.
the first
of number
time you've talked in
24.
a while.
William Byron. If you're William Byron, like, you understand not lifting, but you can't just plow through the guy in front of you. But honestly, to me, it looked like Ross lifted. And at that juncture, I don't think William could have gotten out of the throttle because you're on the throttle the vast majority of the time around Texas. So I don't think William Byron was being inherently reckless there. I just think it was an unfortunate end of the race because we all know What would have happened if that thing would have gone to the line? The Chase Elliott and his Mickey Mouse wins. You want to know who should have won this race?
If you say Bubba Wallace, I'll leave the show.
Austin Dillon.
You're right.
My favorite driver.
Yeah, Austin Dillon actually knows how to block and win a Texas race at the end. Because he's done it, and he blocked Tyler Reddick to win it. But no, you can't hold off William Byron. All right, guys, this race recap's going on way too long because somebody didn't watch the race this week. And this is kind of weird, me kind of leading the show this week. Normally it's you. This is fun. So let's get into a moment with Matt because you've pissed me off, and I want to talk more and jabber, so get off the screen.
I'm going to remain seated, actually.
Okay, just... All right. So, moment with Matt. Got kind of sad last week. It will again this week a little bit because I have finally found a way to talk about Shane Sieg. RSS Racing was actually not formed for Ryan Sieg, and it was called Sieg Racing back in the day, with Shane Sieg driving the number 93 Chevrolet in the Truck Series. And he did not run well, but he had a cool career in the Truck Series, and he was the foundation of RSS Racing. He sadly passed away a few years ago. There was never a cause of death revealed, but he was suspended for substance abuse. So for anybody out there that's having any of those problems, get help. But this is a cool story because RSS Racing is ran in his honor. So I just thought I'd take a moment to do that with a moment with Matt because we're having enough comedy here already because this guy didn't watch the race this week. This has been a moment with Matt. I hope you enjoyed. All right. So now we got to do something I don't want to do. We have to apologize to Texas.
Do we, though?
Kind of, sort of. We need to admit that Chase Elliott won this race. But Texas did put on the best 3-race weekend of the year.
Technically. Because it was the only 3-race weekend that didn't have an absolute stinker.
If the Xfinity race at Atlanta didn't happen, it would be Atlanta. But Atlanta is still the best Cup race of the year. I think we agree on that. And I think Bristol's too.
Yeah, no, I'd have to say so.
I have Texas at 3 just because of the pure chaos of this race. Guys, I want to mention this before I forget. Jimmy Johnson was in this race, the most winningest driver in Texas history. He was not that, but I just like to mention that each race that he's in, Jimmy Johnson was in this race. Cue sabotage by the Beastie Boys. He's not going to play that because of copyright.
I could. I'd get away with it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, nobody's going to watch this anyway, so.
Yeah.
All right, so what are your thoughts on the Texas Motor Speedway? What should we do going forward?
Okay, I want to address the most radical opinions first. The first being, of course, blow it up and leave it. I actually am a little bit more for this than some people would think because I know NASCAR for the longest and people are obsessed with this Texas market. But I don't know. The Texas market has shown over the years that it's not really there for NASCAR. And you might look at me and think, well, that's insane. Texas used to pull 200,000 people in attendance, this, that, and the third. NASCAR used to pull that every weekend. But since NASCAR had its decline, Texas dropped off the face of the earth. There were some markets that stayed around, notably Pocono. Everyone always asks, oh, well, why does Pocono keep its dates? Because the turnout was great. New Hampshire kept its dates because turnout was great.
So, I actually, I mean, we don't get to have debates a lot. So, the Texas attendance hasn't been that horrible. Even when NASCAR is at its lowest. And, the COTA race almost pulls in 100,000 people each year.
No, Texas attendance was never terrible, but keep in mind how big the stadium and when you run and operate a stadium, it's
kind of like the Bristol Spring Race. How it's that's what you're trying to say.
I hear this a lot, just in general when people talk about any stadium, oh well, why aren't all stadiums huge with 300,000 seats? Because of the cost to upkeep it, right? You have to warrant having that many seats, and that's why we've seen in recent years grandstands being taken out of tracks across the board because they don't warrant that seating anymore. And Texas is one of the tracks that has fallen into that category. Texas is now one of the tracks that is losing dates. That's because they don't. Not only do they not pull the attendance that they once did. Texas attendance didn't start to really drop, I feel like, until the end of the Gen 4 or the end of the like the Gen 5 era, because I feel like turnout was still pretty good during the car tomorrow.
And I remember they had a big upcrease for the first year of this repave because it was also Dale Jr.'s last race at Texas. But
yeah,
well,
but so I understand if NASCAR does just say, okay, well, we have tapped into a Texas market, like you hinted at with COTA, because if you don't know, NASCAR's been trying to get into the Texas market going back even to like the 70s.
Texas World Speedway.
Yeah, massive failure Texas World Speedway is. So
Ghost of the Past video?
Potentially, actually. There's a lot to talk about there. But I don't know. So I understand just getting out and leaving. You have the Texas market, you go somewhere else. And I'll compare the Texas market similarly to like a Los Angeles type market. Because we talk about how fandom out there is relatively fair weather. There's too many options for things to do for people to decide to go to a race that isn't, incredibly popular, and it's the same thing in Texas. But obviously attendance was pretty solid this year, but I mean, when you only have one date, and it's the one oval date, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, if Chase Elliott keeps winning every year, it might get it a little more popular there. But
yeah, Texas will probably see an uptick next year alone just because Chase happened to win here. But
14 cautions.
Oh, that as well. But I know some people have been throwing around the idea, okay, blow it up, but make a short track. I'll never say no to that, and I know a lot of people want to say, oh, well, you got to wait until the NASCAR short track, not aero package, because we'll get into that, but the short track just car in general is figured out. Yeah, but you really can't with a decision like this. And the truth is NASCAR is stepping all over themselves anyway. I feel like, as I talked about on the show last week, short track racing can be fixed very easily if NASCAR gets off their ass, in my opinion, or at least gets off their pocketbooks and starts writing some checks that need to be written.
Will was so frustrated by last week's race that he decided to take this week off.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. But I'll be honest, the one solution I'd actually want to see, and also know it's not make Texas another Atlanta. I don't want that at all.
And it's not fix all the shower heads at the stadium.
No, we were actually building an entire new shower. We were ripping out the entire shower. So it wasn't just replacing the shower head. We could have done that later. No, it was a multiple-day process, and we're still doing it. I might have to go up during the week. But I actually would really love to see Texas. I know we can't just go back to the old configuration, but old Texas, not the first iteration. We know that was a disaster, but mid-2000s Texas was awesome, and I think it would really suit this car. I would love to see Texas be a
people
cookie
spin
cutter
on the
mile and a
front
half.
stretch.
That video isn't out yet, so the people don't know.
They will. Okay, we got to get this show on the road a little bit.
We
I
do.
want to introduce a new segment this week. We're introducing, this guy gets to talk again, Rapid Fire with Will. But before he does get to talk again, I have to give my awards of the race because he doesn't get to this week because that's his punishment. All right, driver of the race, I'm going to give it to Chase Elliott. Incredibly aggressive, great job, got the race win. Bonehead of the race to the 45 crew because they almost blew it for Tyler Reddick, and then that led to him messing up that final restart. You could also give it to the 5 crew for the wheel falling off. They both sold wins this week. Underdog of the race, Carson. There's a lot of different names you could say. I'm going to give it to Carson Hocevar for his top 10, but Harrison Burton has honorable mention if he didn't crash at the end, and Zane Smith, who ran in the top 5 for a good portion of the day's race. Now let's get into rapid fire with Will. How this is going to work is I'm going to give Will 5 prompts. He has 10 to 15 seconds to give his thoughts on it coming into the week, kind of like Gas and Go back in the 2010s.
It's our Gas and Go is what this is, and hopefully is this a weekly segment?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, we're going to start you off with the easy one. What are your expectations for Shane Van Gisbergen's oval debut at Talladega this weekend?
You know, I really, on one hand, I want to taper expectations just because it's his oval debut. But on the other hand, we've seen a lot of people step into this car and do, fairly easy on the big tracks. I go back to Travis Pastrana, who was terrible in the – love Travis Pastrana, by the way, but he was terrible in the Xfinity Series. And then he got in a 2311 car and did well in the 500. So I don't know what to think from Shane Van Gisbergen. I think he can contend.
All right, your second prompt is Denny Hamlin made some interesting comments on Action Dinner Tramiel this week, the part of the week that you watched, and he said that NASCAR will be no longer making any aero changes to the short track package. What are your opinions on this?
Thank God. I don't know why we've been trying to make aero changes at all. My hope is that this means that NASCAR is going to be looking in other areas to make these changes like they should have since the beginning, in my opinion, because we've known the problems. They've known the problems. But I think they've tried to go around the back door and fixing them instead of just attacking them head on. So good for NASCAR because at least we're stopping making unnecessary changes.
Okay. All right. This is going to be kind of an interesting one. We have what I'm going to call the meme team coming to the NASCAR Xfinity Series this week. 3 drivers that will be in the field that have been heavily memed. And I want you just to say which one you think will finish the best in the Talladega race.
Okay.
We have Jeffrey Earnhardt, Natalie Decker, and Matt DiBenedetto. Who's going to do the best?
I know what everyone thinks I'm going to say. Jeffrey Earnhardt will finish the best.
Yes. He is also the only one out of those 3 that has a top 10 in the last 2 years in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So the next question is, I want to talk about Jimmy Johnson a little bit. Do you think Jimmy Johnson should continue to do Cup races after this year, even with his performance?
That's a loaded question because I never want to be the person to sit here and tell anybody, oh, it's time to hang it up. Because the truth is, if you're a race car driver and people are willing to pay you to drive their race car and you want to do it, then no. But honestly, if Jimmy cares about being competitive, I don't know that it's out there for him anymore. I think it might just be a little too fast for him. I'd really love to see him in the Xfinity or even the Truck Series because I don't want him to go away. But no, I don't really want to see Jimmy Johnson anymore in the Cup Series. It's really sad.
All right, your final question on this first iteration of Rapid Fire with Will is, do you think Chase Briscoe will make the playoffs after this run in the points over the last few weeks?
Absolutely.
That's it?
Yep.
All right.
Chase Briscoe will make the playoffs.
And on that, I'm going to plug the sponsors real quick, and then we're going to get out of here.
Actually, Chase Briscoe will make the playoffs. He will not be the last seed.
I agree with you. 12th in the points right now, by the way, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this new segment. I promise it'll be more, formatted in the coming weeks. But I think Will does a really good job with these smaller stories throughout the week because we were joking about him not watching the race, but I'm very bad about watching podcast content throughout the week. So Will really carries in that aspect. So we're gonna plug the sponsors real quick. As always, go watch Milan's show. It's fully on our YouTube channel right now. Go follow at Bricasso on Instagram. She made our logo. Ken posted our show the last few weeks. He asked me to shout out his YouTube channel. Go follow Kenneth Brooks on YouTube. And Terrell's Clothing Brand at Grateful Studios. Thanks, everybody, for all the support posting our videos each week, because that's where a lot of our viewers come from right now. And also, thanks, guys, again, for the awesome support on Will's video a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, thank you. We actually got another video to crack 100 views. So both of our solo videos, we've done that. So that being said, thank you, everybody, for watching. And yes, sorry I did not watch the race, but I think we at least got some good comedy.
You don't get the outro this week.
Oh, should I go?
Yeah, you made me go last week. So I'm going to actually outro for both of us. And I've been Will. I didn't watch the race this week, and I'm very sorry. And I've been Matt, and you've been watching The Shift.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.